tapping. Tap into your purpose. Tapping.
Okay.
Check it. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. We tapping into purpose. Raw on purpose. Raw on purpose. We tapping into purpose. Raw on purpose. Raw on purpose.
What's good, family? It's your boy Zay,
And it's your boy Rashad.
and this is the Raw on Purpose podcast.
Yes, the Raw on Purpose podcast, your podcast. This is where we tap into help you thrive in your individual purpose, also helping you to know that you can be who you are and thrive in who you are in your raw energy, your raw, authentic person. And today we're going to have some great topics to talk about today. So hope y'all ready to tap in.
Yes, and we have a special guest in the building. But first, please do us a favor. Share, like, comment. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at rawonpurpose_. And, bro, can you tell them where they can find us on Facebook?
Absolutely. Facebook, you know what I'm saying? You can find us Raw on Purpose. That is RAONPURPOSE on Facebook. And also, don't forget on the YouTube as well. Just search us out, Raw on Purpose Podcast. Again, that's RAONPURPOSE Podcast. Check us out.
Appreciate you telling them that, sir. Good
You already
look,
know.
good
All
look.
day. Got you.
So, yeah, that's where you can find us on podcasts, all the podcasting sites, Raw on Purpose. Follow us, comment, share, subscribe, all those good things. Like my boy said, we got a great show for you today, but we have our special guest. He's one of my good friends. We've been doing some work during this pandemic. This guy, I call him the tech chef because he knows everything about technology, or mostly everything. And we've been doing some work in ministry, and, he's just a good dude. So we thought, with us being in the Christmas spirit, we thought we'd bring him on today. So say hello, Ali.
What's up, world? How's everyone doing? This is Ali from Atlanta. Just glad to be on the show today.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate
Glad to
you
have
coming.
Thank you.
So today we got the topic of the gift. That's right, the gift.
Gift.
We are in the holiday spirit. We know what time it is. We know what everybody's going crazy about, spending their money, spending their time out shopping, doing all this stuff.
Yeah, right before this, I Googled gift, and all I saw was gifts, Christmas this, discounts on this, gift ideas, gift.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And it has a certain feel towards it to where, like, if you don't give a gift, you feel like you're, not adequate. So today we just want to kind of discuss some things, and then ultimately we know the main reason for the season, and that's for Jesus, our Savior. And I apologize if you don't believe, but we are unapologetic about what we believe and whom we believe. And we know that this season is really, really about Him. Now, for those that say this is a pagan holiday, yes, we know that Jesus was not born in December, okay? We're not naive enough to know that, or not know that, okay? Anyways, but that's just a holiday. That's what corporate has created for us. And so this is just the time we celebrate Him. If you're really a true believer, you celebrate Jesus every single day.
Right. Nice.
So before we even dive into that, what's your thoughts, Rashad, on Christmas, man? This whole time of year. What are your thoughts about it, man?
Man, be more Pacific.
Be more Pacific.
You heard that, right? Come across the country, be more Pacific than that.
Right.
No.
Right.
So,
Cali.
what in context of just what exactly?
Whatever comes to mind.
About this season.
Whatever comes to mind.
For me, I feel like I've always liked Christmas. I always liked the season, the feeling of it. I've had white Christmases when I was younger and enjoyed that because I don't really have that now. Living down here in Atlanta, where it's like a a lucky day, a lucky year, or it could be 2020. Who knows? You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
We could have that.
We
Who
could
knows?
Get 12 feet of snow.
You know.
So semi-white Christmases.
No. No. They can
Right.
have it,
He's
snow.
there. Right.
We're going to send Rashad to Colorado so he can enjoy White Christmas.
Yeah. So those of y'all that don't know, that's where I'm originally from, Denver, Colorado. So yeah, the Rockies. So that's what I definitely. That was my first, with Christmas and everything, having a real tree, all that type of stuff, and that was it. Now I will say my thoughts, at least about is as far as Christmas goes. I think it's in a whole, it's been made into something like that it isn't. I guess you could say. When it comes to Christmas, I think people are more focused on like what you were saying earlier, Zay, like when it comes to giving gifts, like if you don't get one or something like that for someone, makes you feel less inadequate, like you didn't care or anything of that magnitude. And it's like, what about the other 360 some odd days of the year? Why does it have to be only that particular day? About that and everything. But people stress out during this time of year,
Right.
do they not?
They do. They do.
And it's like, why? Why? It's like, so I think people just gotten away from like the true meaning of it, and
Absolutely.
and what it really is about and everything. So I feel like I've just been seeing it going, and sometimes some seasons I'm kind of Scrooging a little bit because of that. I'm not gonna lie, like because
I
I'm
feel
like
you.
I just watch because I'm an observer of people, and
Mhm.
I just look around and just see people like just a bit concerned, and they're lining up outside of these stores to get PS5s and everything.
Right.
And I just see the value systems of the people around and everything. It's kind of like
Yeah.
this is who we are. This is our
Welcome
yeah.
to America, as
Yeah.
Lil Cray said.
Yeah.
Ollie, what are your thoughts on Christmas, man?
On Christmas, man. just thinking, because I guess I'm slightly older than y'all, so I can remember
Ever so slightly.
ever so slightly.
He's like 25.
Yet, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I can remember when people actually still put thought into Christmas, thought into wanting to spend time with people, thought into the gifts that you give, that you're giving your gifts to. And now it just seems like people use Christmas as a way of making up for what they lacked in doing the rest of the year.
I agree.
It's a commercial ploy to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can remember growing up with the Sears catalog. The toy catalog
remember that
sent
too.
out every year.
Yeah.
So circling everything that I wanted that I knew I wasn't going to get,
Yeah.
but it was still
Right.
fun.
Right.
Still fun to do it.
Yeah, just a dream build a little bit.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So just watching how society reacts to Christmas now, and for it to be as commercial as it is, that we would start advertising Christmas in July
Right.
just to get people to spend money.
Yep. And they call it Christmas in July.
Exactly.
They have movies geared towards it, everything. Can't even, you got what, 8 months to go? What? No, I'm sorry. Not 8, but what, 5 months until? Just to pre-program you?
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's how real it is.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So as we jump into this topic of the gift, what is a gift?
First, we would like to hear from you, Zay.
Yeah, that was my whole intro.
Oh.
My whole intro was my thoughts on Christmas.
Oh, so that was it. Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
that was
Okay.
it. I mean, I
So
can
basically, just get us out the way so you
Right.
can get to it.
No, that wasn't it. But no, okay. I mean, for me, Christmas is supposed to be about spending time with family. And then again, it's ultimately about Jesus and, celebrating his life. And we've taken, we've even taken and perverted what the scripture says about how, how the gift giving came apart is the three wise men gave him gifts. So then we're like, oh, that's what we're supposed to do. And then corporate America took this and turned it into a whole big machine to where, people are going broke to buy gifts. That if you watch your kid, your kid gets so many gifts, he'll play with, he or she will play with the gift for like 5 minutes and then it's in the corner. Or they'll break it, or, they don't really appreciate it. And so people just be like, yeah, I'm going to get them this gift. And people attach a level of my parents, my loved one, someone loves me based upon the type of gift they give me.
Yeah, some real conditioning.
Right. It's not, the fact that they provided for you all year.
Yeah.
Right? You had a roof over your head.
Yeah.
You had water to bathe with.
Yeah.
You had hot water to bathe with. You had lights. You had gas. You got to play basketball. You got to do ballerina. You got to be in the band. You got to do all that stuff. And they didn't get you what you wanted for Christmas. And now your feelings are hurt. And you hate your parents.
Man.
Right?
Can I comment on that?
Most certainly.
So that is, for one, that's a real point, because it's like, and this is kind of like in society too. It's like, when you're a child and you have friends, you have, people you go to school with and everything, you request something, you see all your friends, they're getting everything that they want for Christmas. And then, at least in my experience, not getting exactly what I want, but still have everything that I need.
Yep.
There's many Christmases where, like what you was talking about, where I would feel like, not necessarily like they didn't care, but that I kind of didn't matter in a way based on that value system of that holiday that was so hyped up that I was that I was entitled to, getting things just like, everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that made me feel like every year, like I guess either this holiday doesn't matter as much to them, like my friends and their parents do, or in my case, where I thought, am I not worthy, or was I not good enough? Because for me, they based on like if my grades were right, if my behavior was good, the whole Santa Claus story, a part of it, if you're good, Santa ain't gonna give you nothing this year if you ain't good.
Yep.
He's gonna cancel I'm gonna tell Santa to skip over his house.
Or give you
but,
a lump of coal.
Exactly. I don't even need to go there, but
we'll leave that alone.
But exactly. But yeah, it's just crazy because like that's how it is in society. So we feel like we're entitled to have sometimes the same things that someone else may have, and say if God doesn't bless us the same way or in the same season as someone else, we might make us feel some type of way or something like that, and it's not the case.
Right.
But of course, it had to, grow out of that, mentality, maturing, realizing things and whatnot. But yeah, it's
crazy. Yeah, my parents be like, with me expecting a child, they'd be like, yeah, so what you gonna get him for Christmas? Like, first of all, my kid don't remember nothing the first year of their life, the second year, nor the third year of their life. So I ain't getting them nothing. Right? That's y'all's responsibility. All these people that love us, that want to pour into the kid, awesome. What I'm getting them is a mutual fund, a stock. I might even, once I get to the point, they might get a house, like a property, and then we figure out how to generate some money. Because for me, I rather, instead of spending, again, you said what, the PS5, and it's like $500.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can go buy 2 shares of Apple right now.
That's
3 shares
boring.
possibly, right?
That's boring.
Yeah,
I understand what other people's.
Right. It is boring. But, in 20 years, when my kid's old enough, it might be actually valuable compared to, like, I don't have anything from my first Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing from my 5th Christmas.
Right.
I don't have anything from my 10th Christmas. I don't have anything from my 15th Christmas. Right?
So let's talk about the gift that keeps giving.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so all that stuff fades, but I digress. I digress anyways.
Oh, we're going to get into it today.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. Just, we've just gotten so far away from what the true meaning and essence. And I really hope that this year has really, really hope it has opened people's eyes to what's really important. Because I know, like, my wife is, like, so hurt right now that due to the pandemic, we can't go spend time with her family, right? To where it's like, she would trade every gift that is given to her to be able to go spend the day with her family, right? Because those memories are priceless. Like, I remember one of the first Christmases that I had my cousin and my grandma come from Philly to California and spend time with me. I still remember that to this day. Like, I remember, I think Christmas was on a Sunday, and I didn't go to church, and I messed up my perfect attendance for Sunday school. But my grandma was here. My favorite cousins were here, right? So that meant more to me than any gift. And, I mean, I remember the gifts that I got from there.
Right.
But again, they don't exist today.
Right.
Yeah, I feel you, but I know, like me, my parents made sure that they reminded me every day of what they did or what they have done. So Christmas, whether we got a lump of coal or we actually got something we wanted off of our list, it's like it's just another day.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up with a silver spoon. We didn't grow up with bags of money stuffed in the couch. Every day was a struggle, and they made sure to remind us that, look, the time that we invest in you now versus one single day where you may or may not get what you want, this time is more valuable than that one single gift. Although society, on the other hand, will tell you, look, this is the most important day. Screw the rest of the year.
Right.
Yep.
You have to produce on this day.
Yep.
Pressure.
The pressure. And if you don't produce on this day, you're Scrooge.
Absolutely. Right.
And that really, that sucks from a parent standpoint.
Yeah.
Because society has built the construct that way. Of course, it actually, I guess you can think it actually adds a level of pressure to the kids too. Because you come back from that school break, that winter break, and everyone's got their new shiny whatever. Hey, what did you get?
Right.
Yeah, I got some socks.
Right. Right.
Right. Yeah.
But I ate good.
Right. Right.
Which honestly for me was probably the most important thing. But that's a whole different story.
But I feel you.
Yeah.
It's went through the same.
Yep. And honestly, man, most people don't even understand that for kids, really what kids want, they spell money time. It's spending time. It's just because you come and you drop a gift off doesn't mean that you love the kid. It
See
just
you next
means,
year.
Right, I just break you off something and I'm gone. And then, then sometimes some kids equate that to value in their life. So their dad comes or their mom comes and they drop a nice gift and then they don't see them for the rest of the year. And they're like, oh, that's how you show that you love me is this. But then you begin to suffer because you didn't get that time with them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's this movie where it was one of these parody movies. One of the Wayans brothers was in it. And he came over to his girlfriend. He was like, yeah, I'm here to pick up little Johnny. And, everyone's excited. And he literally just picks him up and then puts him back down. Okay, see you in 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad. It's sad. And that's another thing about this season. This particular season, you had mentioned it earlier, Rashad, about the number of depressed people during this time of year.
Absolutely.
And it's looking at, studies say that suicides increase during this time of the year, due to either a level of stress or missing loved ones or not being able to cope with the pressures that society has placed on you for being a producer during this time of year. And like you mentioned earlier, Zay, this particular year kind of amplifies it to a degree because whereas you would normally have friends and loved ones around you to kind of help coast you through this, you don't because of this whole physical separation. So this whole topic of the gift, and we'll dive into that a little later on, is even more so important this year than in years past, just because of this whole COVID pandemic.
Yeah, and as we dive into what is a gift, like we've kind of touched on it. A gift is something that you typically just give to somebody. Like in essence of that's what a gift is. It's whatever it is you give, and then there's so many different types of gifts. I think money is a type of gift. Time is probably the best gift that you can give somebody. I had to,
That's an expensive gift.
That's an expensive gift. It is, because you can't get it back. It's like the one moment you can't get it back. I had to explain to my wife that, she wanted to go spend some time with some people, and it wasn't as long as she wanted it to be. And I said, just appreciate the fact that they set aside some time and said that they could come spend it with you.
Right.
Because there are some people that lost that lost special people in their lives, and they can never spend that time with them. So you got to take every moment, because let's say, God forbid, something happens. Now you'll never get to spend time with them. So it's like anytime somebody gives you the opportunity to spend time with them, appreciate that, because they don't have to. Right.
I always try to tell people, like, thank you for your time, especially when, like, that's so, man.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the thing that, we got to, people, and I get it, people waste time so much to where they don't have a appreciation of time. Right? We worship money so much, but in the chasing of money, your kids grow up. In the chasing of money, you don't get experiences. Right? In chasing money, and money is important, and money is great. Money is a tool.
Yes, it's a tool.
Right? It allows you to be able to enjoy some things. But you got to get to a point to where you get to enjoy your time. You got to find a way to let your money work for you to be able to enjoy your time with your loved ones and with people, right? So, you got material things that you could get as gifts: cars, houses, jewelry, gaming systems, right? But sometimes relationships are a gift. You meet that good friend, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this time, like, connections is super important. Right. Like me and my boy Rashad here, like, the connection and the friendship we have, I think, is more valuable than any amount of money that can be given. Right? Even the time Ali and I have spent has been a gift, because we've learned so much from each other. We've grown so much with each other.
Right.
That's
it.
So there's so many different aspects of what is a gift, right?
Because a gift is also talent. So talent, your talents, the things that, of course, that God is giving you, that was given to you by birthright, that, we are supposed to also regift.
I'm glad you said that word, regift. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about the whole term of regifting, because, in society, regifting is kind of a faux pas. It's that thing that you don't really want to regift, gift to someone, because to see someone else, you've put your time and effort into, this is going to be the Everyone wants the perfect gift. They want to give the perfect gift.
Yep.
And to turn around and see your perfect gift given to someone else, kind of well, why did I give it to them anyway? You know, if all they're going to do is just turn around and give it to someone else. But then when you think about the perfect gift, it's designed to be given. It's designed to be regifted over and over and over again. So, you know, let's regift.
Yeah.
Let's start a movement. That's a good movement.
Yeah.
The regift challenge.
Make regifting great again.
Right.
Bring it back.
Let's roll it back.
For real.
Yeah. I mean, that's perfect. And that goes into the next thing is like, what is the purpose of a gift?
Right.
Right. And the purpose of a gift is to give it to, to share it, to express it. It's not something for us to hoard for ourselves.
Right.
And we've grown. That's like the mindset we have is like my gift. It's mine. And it's funny. It's funny how some people have this mentality like I gave you this, so you don't have a right to give it to somebody else.
That part.
Right? It's like, but hold on. You gave it to me. Right? And then oftentimes when we give people gifts, it's not even about how they're going to feel when they receive it. It's how we're going to feel on the inside when we give it to them. And if their level of excitement doesn't match our excitement of giving it to them, we're disappointed.
Right.
And then we're like, oh, you're so ungrateful.
But then I guess my question on that was a lot of times how much thought actually went into the gift or selecting the gift that you gave. Yeah. You know, did you give it because of something that you wanted them to have or something that they actually needed?
That part.
Or wanted.
That part.
So a lot of people give based out of their own need.
Yes.
Because they figure if they need it, then someone else needs it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not taking into account the needs of that other person.
Yep.
So
Very
it's
important.
Real selfish.
Man, you said something because this, I know quite a few different selfish givers. How that seems kind of oxymoronic, but people who give gifts for the purpose of coming back to them to make them feel a certain type of way. I gave you that, so you should be grateful, or like you said, or bringing it back up later down the road when something comes up. I got you this, I got you that, I got you going down the list and everything, and was it all about the fact that you gave me this, or did you really want me to have and enjoy and do whatever I wanted with what you gave me?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I'm looking at a definition of gift as saying like something that is bestowed voluntarily and without compensation.
Yeah.
Without compensation.
That last part.
Right. So meaning gifts are supposed to be unconditional. They should not come with conditions.
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me if I
Break it down.
You mean to tell me if I were to reach into my pocket right now and say, Zay, okay, I got this gift for you. I got a check, blank check. You write your number in there, and I'm gonna honor whatever that number is. However, for you to receive this gift, it has to go towards XYZ.
It's not a gift, it's a payment. If you ever notice, anytime you make a payment on something, right? If you write a check, you put what it's for.
Right. That part. What it's for.
See, when you put a name on it, then the check has purpose, right?
So because you've attached a condition to this check,
it's no longer a gift. It's a payment. If I do this work, you pay me. If you want this done, you give me the money to go get this done. A gift is, here it is, go do as you please.
Okay. I can rock with that.
It comes with no attachments to it.
Mm.
Right? Like you think about, as you said, talents. There is no attachment to anything that God gives us.
And think about that, like, how we, all the, people that on this planet that have gifts and talents, and as I say, God gives gifts, without repentance, right? So it's like He's literally like, I gave it. Whether you love me or not, or whether you choose me or not, like what I gave you, I'm not saying like, I'm gonna take away from you if you do this or that. It's what you do with it is what you do with it.
It's all about you, right? It's what. So yeah, that's a good point. That's a good conversation piece.
So I'm gonna give a little gentle pushback.
Okay.
Yeah.
So God gives you gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Use with them, or do with them as you would.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're not using them, if you're not using gifts to uplift someone else, to uplift His name, aren't you held accountable for that? For how you use your, it's the same thing. Aren't you held accountable for how you use your gifts?
No, because we can't attach gifts and what we do with them to behaviors.
Okay, break that down.
Right. So let's case in point. What everybody say is someone like Beyonce, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has an amazing gift. Is she doing it for the Lord? No. But she's gotten resources to help a lot of people.
But I guess in that sense, it still goes back to you're using the outcome of the use of the resource to go back and help people.
Yeah, to help people, but it doesn't mean she's helping people because that's what God, quote unquote, called her to do. She could just be doing it. It could be a selfish reason. I don't know her, so
right.
But I'm just giving an example.
And if you do happen to be listening to this podcast, go ahead and reach out to us.
Yeah, like God gives you the gifts, and He tells you to go and do as you please with them. Right? He doesn't put conditions on it. He says, He doesn't take them away from you. Right? Even if you don't use the gift, He still doesn't take it from you. There's not a condition on the gift, because ultimately what God judges you on is, were you in line with Him? Did you keep His commandments? Did you follow His word? That's because there's people that use their gifts and they've helped a million people, but they're the worst people on the face of this planet. Like, their character is trash.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? So a gift is a gift with there's no attachments to it. God judges, really, if we think about it, God judges our character more than anything else.
I believe, our character and how we manage the collage of all these gifts, not just the talent gifts, the time, the relationships, everything that we look at as a blessing or a gift, that is enriching our lives in some types, or helping us, use that as something to get us closer to fulfilling our purpose more and more, and to living more and more of an abundant life. Like, so it's like a collage of all these things too that we have to, kind of come back to.
But He's not like, if I have an amazing singing voice and I never use it, it's my belief, and there's nowhere in Scripture that it says that I'm not going to get to spend eternity with Him because I never sang a song. Think about that. That's a gift that a lot of people don't have. Just because I'm amazing does not mean I have to get in the choir and sing. But I could be an amazing usher. Or if I'm working a regular 9 to 5, I'm an amazing employee. Or if I'm the owner of a company, I'm an amazing owner, employer. God cares more about that than what you do with it. Now, if you want to take the scripture of you talking about the talents, if you want to take, we know that that's money.
Is it?
money, talents, whatever he gives us to manage, to multiply.
That's the part, management.
Right. It's
Management. How do we manage it? I think that's the main thing that we would be judged upon. How do we manage all of this?
right, because some people could love to sing, but just don't want to get in front of people and sing.
So I guess my question is then, how would you feel to give a gift and that gift not be used as the giver?
I mean, you would.
Right, you'd be like,
Right, you'd be upset, but again, it's a gift. They get to do as they please. Your feelings, in reality, don't matter. You got them a gift. You gave them a gift.
you made a decision. You already premeditated. I'm going to, in whatever purpose it is that you decided to give it to them. When I let this go and I give it to them, it's whatever from there.
At the point of transfer of ownership, whatever you do, it's on you.
Pretty
It's
much
on you.
transfer ownership.
And you just got to deal with yourself. You got to deal with your feelings.
It's like if you gave a car to someone you love, a daughter or such, and or even somebody more like a friend or somebody that you don't know that well. You give them, it's like a brand new car or something like that. You see them riding around, and maybe you wouldn't, expect them to. And maybe they're riding around. They have like, a bunch of people in it, and they're blasting crazy music or something like that. And you may be like, wait, what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? Like you'd be like, because that's not what you maybe thought that you would see them doing in the car. But if that's the case, if you gave that to them and it was a true gift.
Right.
It's like,
again, it goes back to, was the gift for you to feel good, or was it for them to use it?
Mm.
Did you give them the gift to say, hey, I gave, because then here's the thing, it goes back to this. I gave you this car, and that's not what I intended for you to do with the car. If they took the car and went and put some little tiny tires on it, right, and it was white, and then they go paint it like a bright yellow, right? They make it and it's like the ugliest thing to you, but you gave them the gift. Once you give it, you gotta release it. It's just, we're so attached to material things. And it should be you're gifting them. And what is your reason again to gift them? Are you giving them a car because you know that they're working hard and they're trying to get to the next space, and so this will help them do better with that?
So when do you decide to give a gift?
When you make the decision.
Is there a prerequisite for giving a gift, or you just give it just because?
You give it just because. Now, we have holidays or like birthdays. Hey, it's your birthday. We're celebrating you. Here's a gift in celebration of you.
And and I don't know if this is where you're going, Ali, with this, but what is like the beginning? What is the inspiration, motivation to provoke that act to give a gift?
It's a simple thought. You know, Ali, as much as anybody, you wake up and be like, you know what, I'm going to go buy something new, and then I'm going to give this to such and such.
Yeah.
Right? Or you'll buy something, and then you'll be like, oh, here. And you just give it to them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what you do with it. You give it to them. That's, like, there's no conditions to it.
Of course I know this, but I'm just trying to bring an alternate view of it. But, okay, so I've always been that person. I like to push back.
I understand. Me too.
I don't know, but I like to do that pushback thing.
Healthy conversation.
Right. Yeah.
Right, because this would be boring without it. We would have stopped like 20 minutes ago. It would have been like the gift. Hey, thank you for listening. Have a great day.
That's it.
Okay, so since you mentioned me and giving gifts and such, typically, now there are some caveats to this, but typically when I give a gift, I'm looking at a need that needs to be addressed, and I have either the means or the resources to be able to address what I consider a need. So in looking at it from that standpoint, I may see what I consider to be a need and give accordingly, and then not see that gift being used in accordance with the need that I accept. Yeah, it kind of stings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Naturally,
matter.
as a human being, yeah.
Like the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You know, okay. So
Not to say it so bluntly, like how you feel about the gift being given and what they do with it doesn't matter. You gave it away. The
Yeah.
moment you gave it away, it doesn't matter what they do with it. Again, we're attached to it because in your mind, it should have been used this way. And they could waste it. They could have broke it. And typically what it is, I spent money on this, and it's something of value. I give it to you, and you make it seem valueless. So now I shouldn't have gave it to you because I took my time and my money to go purchase this. I even if I used it, and then I gave it to you, right? It's all about you.
this is true. This is true.
A gift is not for the person giving the gift.
Let's talk a little bit about, like, just for a moment, ownership. For one, we don't own anything.
If I had a bomb, it'd just be.
I mean, just, because at least when it comes to gifts, sometimes I think that's why we feel some type of way when we do, give things away and that purpose isn't being fulfilled that we intended it to be. Could be, is because of that fact of, like, like it was something of mine that I gave to them, not something that I'm sharing as a gift or that I just, like, you know what?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be real transparent right here.
We need it.
Hey,
Talk about
this
it.
is the raw on purpose
You know,
podcast.
I'm gonna be
Yes.
real transparent because in that feeling some kind of way, I may see that need again for that same individual, and based on previous behavior, choose not to give.
And that's your prerogative. Right?
That's my prerogative.
Yeah,
but,
it's your prerogative. Does it make it right necessarily?
and that's where I'm going with it. Does that make that right though?
No. It doesn't necessarily make it right, but to each his own. Right? Because some people will feel bad about it. If you don't feel convicted about it, keep on going. But if you feel that you should do it, just do it. Because again, ultimately, we don't own it.
Right.
And then ultimately, when we give with the right heart in some way, shape, or form, and this is not why we should give, but when you give, ultimately something comes back to you. Right? We've all been in situations to where we've given stuff away and you didn't think about it, because really, let's think about gifting as sowing seed.
Right.
You're sowing a seed. And it's not up to you to bring increase to the seed. Your job is just to straight plant the seed, because you can't control its growth. That's a word right there. Your job is to plant the seed. You can't control the growth of the seed.
You might want to write that down. You may be called to preach that at some point in the future.
It's recorded.
Right, it's on record.
Right. Your job is not to make it grow. Your job is just literally to plant the seed. Your job is to just give the gift. Because and then also let's think about gift giving. Gift giving is increasing your capacity to receive. Again, the intention isn't I'm giving this so I can receive more. But when you give of something, guess what? You had something. Now that whole that thing, you give it away, there's an empty space for you to receive more.
It's making room.
It's making room.
It's releasing it to make room.
If you're thinking in it from a godly perspective of what a gift is, it's literally to make room for him to give you more. Because here's another part of it, is stewardship. If you steward what he gives you, he brings more for you to steward. because he understands that you stewarded it well, and you're not hoarding it for yourself. You're giving it. So now he can give you more because he knows you're going to give more.
If he can get it through you, he can get it to you.
Okay. So, question then. I'm a gift giver. And I'm not saying me personally. Just
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Just saying.
He's a gift giver, guys. Okay.
So, I'm a gift giver.
Okay.
And I see someone that I'm giving the gift to.
Okay.
Let's say it's a financial gift.
Okay.
I give the gift to this individual. This
Uh-huh.
individual uses it in a way that it wasn't given or intended to be used. Let's say I gave them rent money and they spent it at the club or they spent it shopping, So if that need arises again, don't I have a responsibility
Okay.
not to feed into their misuse of the gift?
No, because if in that regard, and honestly, it's not a gift. You're telling them, hey, this is for you to pay your rent. You're not just gonna give the person the money if they're like, I need rent. You give it to them, say, this is for you to pay your rent. Now, if they blow it, don't come back asking me for nothing else. Again, you got to understand the difference in a gift is you give somebody something with no conditions. Let's think about also a gift is something you don't earn. Now, we've been taught through our grades as kids that if you don't do good grades or you don't behave, you don't get something.
Mm-hmm. Behavioral based. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But every day we wake up is a gift that we don't deserve. So again, we can't attach gift, because again, a gift is given like when you, that's a payment. Let's go back to that. If you're giving somebody some money to pay their rent, that's a payment. This is for you to pay your rent. Now, yes, you're giving it to them for them to pay their rent. A gift is something that you're giving just because, something that you're giving even if they've earned it. Here's that. But if somebody's asking to borrow or you're trying to help them,
so basically, you're saying my definition of gift needs to change.
possibly.
That's important.
Right.
That's important.
It's possible, right? Because if you are a gift, because again, let's say you give that, it just increases your capacity to get more. It doesn't matter what the person did with the gift, the fact that you gave it. Right? Because here's the other part. You should never give something that you can't afford to lose.
This is true.
I've heard the saying, if you really love something, give it away.
Right? Because if you can't afford to give somebody some money to pay rent, you shouldn't give it away in the first place.
I have no comeback for that.
None needed.
I plead the fifth.
That needed to be said. That needed to be shared. What you said.
Yeah, because there's somebody listening, their whole life is, based upon their feelings of giving gifts, and this is kind of morphed into shattering that thought of the gift isn't about the gift giver, right? Or what you give isn't based upon your feelings. I don't even think I'm explaining that right.
Say that one more time.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying, honestly. I'm trying to get the words right. I don't want to sit here and just there be quiet, silence while I'm sitting here trying to think through what I'm saying. But it's again, we go back to when you give a gift, it doesn't matter how, your feelings, they matter, but that's it. They matter to you, right? And you have to deal with your feelings about the gift you gave somebody else. You have to deal with it, but they're not obligated to do what you think they should do with it. because it's a gift.
No, I get it. I get it.
So it's like, it's really to take away, and I'm not speaking this,
Right.
to you, but it's to take away people that selfishly give to get something in return. Because then there's some people that they only give because they think they're going to get something from that person.
Right.
Right? I gave you this,
That's
so
real.
you should give me that. I gave you this, you should give me that.
Talking about conditioning again.
Right.
So I think it goes back to like the mindset or the reason or purpose. Are we giving from the state of love, which is love just gives. That's the act, in action, give, and that's all it is, give, and there is no attachment of an expectation for a return, though that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that part. It's just like if you're giving a gift, if it's in love, there's nothing attached to it. Yes or no?
Exactly. If it's a gift given in love, there's
No condition,
there's no. Because we honestly all should be loved unconditionally. Now, I know there's a comedian out there, I think his name is Bill Burr or whatever, and he said...
Bill Maher?
No, Bill Burr. The one that had the... Because I know Bill Maher is the guy on HBO, but his name is Bill Burr, Burr. But he has a joke where he says that that women, children, and animals are the only things on this earth that are loved conditionally. That men are only loved based upon what they give to other people. If you think about it, that's kind of like a true statement. Nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's a topic for a whole nother day, a whole nother podcast.
Definitely.
Honestly, don't know where I was going with that point, but we're supposed to give. Right? I really don't know, where did that come from?
The conditional part.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
what it was.
That inclination, that without compensation.
Yep.
Part of, I guess, what giving is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's something that because gift is an act. It is an action, right? So it's like, is it coming from love?
Yeah.
And does that make that a gift or not? If it is, or if it's not coming from love?
That's a good question.
I don't know. Something
either.
to throw out on the table, but
something for you guys to ponder.
Yeah.
And maybe we come back on another day to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's so many layers to giving.
Many.
We don't talk about it too often, because honestly, most of the time, most people are focused on receiving something.
Yeah, people are conditioned that way, that you give to get.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you consider that necessarily a Western culture.
Yes, it is.
Or
yes, it is.
Or just a human thing. Now we probably exhibit it more here in the West.
That's what I'm saying. Yes,
definitely. That's really what it is.
That's really what it is. I mean, we're all selfish in nature. Every human being is selfish in nature.
Everyone.
Watch a baby. A baby that has had nothing fill their minds, right? They're learning, they're adapting, they're watching. But in their natural inclination is they're playing with a toy. They see a kid playing with one of their other toys. They'll drop the toy that they're playing with, go over to the kid and say, "Hey, that's my toy," and take the toy.
But it's not every kid.
Most kids are like that.
But most and every, two different words.
Now, here's the other part. Let's talk about environment. So if that kid's not like that, is it because the environment that they're in is a giving environment? Are they teaching? Because at some point in time, a kid runs through that again. Like, we're just, if we're honest,
So is selfishness an innate behavior or a taught behavior?
it's innate. You got to learn how to be unselfish, because it's like, if it's not a toy, it's like, mommy, give me some milk.
So
Right.
basically,
And
we're
I
wired.
could be wrong.
So basically, we're wired for self-preservation, to
Yeah.
take care of self.
Yeah.
So I just lost my whole train of thought.
Well, honestly, that thought brings us into who is the gift, right? Jesus being the gift, because when creation was created, there was a fall. Our human nature wasn't this. Human nature fell due to disobedience to him. So now we have this thing that's against what he created us for. Right? He created us to reproduce. He created us to manage, to have dominion.
Right. To make this place something great.
Right. But due to sin nature, it turned into all about me. Right? You think
Yep.
about it, the first murder that happened was because one was jealous of the other. It wasn't for
Yeah.
protection. It was like,
Yeah. That had to do with one being selfish and thinking that it was about him more than the other.
yeah. So it's in our nature to be. Now, some are more selfish than others, but we all wrestle with selfishness, right? We all wrestle with giving stuff away because, we're selfish.
It's our survival primal nature. Feeling like, that we have to preserve and protect, something or hoard something. That's why we have hoarders. And,
Yep.
I say people who, protect their heart or withhold certain things because of something that happened to them or condition, how they were raised, their mindset, any of those things. So it's like there's certain things that come part of their nature that may not be the nature of love, or you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
going back to the whom,
Yep.
so
Yep. And so ultimately, that's what Jesus came to do, is to help reset our nature. Because then if you look at everything that Jesus taught about, is counter to what is our innate thinking, innate being. Right? He tells you to love your enemies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, like, man, I hate you. I don't want to mess with them like that. But Jesus tells us to pray for those that curse you, bless those that despitefully use you. Right? That's totally opposite of what we will want to do.
naturally.
Because somebody cuts you off, the first thing you want to do is what? But you have to be like, no, I'm not going. Right? You give a gift to somebody and they don't do what you want. What's the first thing you want to do? You really want to go take the thing back.
You take it back. You're not worthy. That's,
Right?
maybe a little embellishment there,
But Jesus is the ultimate gift. He's the ultimate showcase of what love looks like.
but why?
For God
Why?
so
By what?
Why go that route?
For God so loved the world, the greatest sacrifice is you sacrificing your child. Would you sacrifice your daughter for a rapist? A murderer? A thief?
Me personally?
A drug addict?
No.
A hooker? I could keep going. No.
Right.
It's
but
the ultimate gift.
I guess now this is always one thing I've always struggled with this, in that with God in His infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom, infinite ability, He could have gone any number of directions.
Definitely.
Why that one?
Because it required blood. What happened after they fell? They covered themselves with something, right? They used leaves. But what did God replace it with?
But again,
But what did he replace it with? Something had to be sacrificed. Here's the thing. Like with a plant, you can go cut a plant, like you can cut an apple down, but the apple has seeds it can reproduce. Even after you take it from the tree, you can still reproduce. But if life is taken, that life can't reproduce anything. There's a finality to it. So which one's the greater sacrifice? A plant or an animal, or in this case, his son Jesus?
just from my limited finite mind, it just seems like there could have been another way.
Well,
Of course, it could have been another way.
it could have been. And then
Definitely.
God also saw every other way and was just like, nah, none of those ways. Literally, I have to come from where I stand, get stuck in time, right? Get
Right.
stuck into
In a body.
the atmosphere, a body. Like he came down to partake in the human experience because he was the only one that could save us. He was the only one that could do it.
Well, I understand that whole piece, that he's the only one that could have redeemed us back. It's just the method. I guess I'm stuck on the method side of it.
The method, and we're talking about what exactly?
And the means of the entire crucifixion.
Mm-hmm.
Here you are stretched out, bones broken, whipped, bruised.
He had no broken bones.
No broken bones?
Absolutely, that's what the scripture says. No broken bones. No, he was battered, he was bruised, he was beaten. Remember, when he was on the cross, what they would do is they would break the guy's knees so that they couldn't walk if they happened to jump down, right? They would break their knees to make sure that they were dead. They never did that to Jesus because he said, it is finished, and then the life was out of him, right? So just in case, like, they were faking death and they held their breath and they were able to get their breathing to where people would think that they're dead. And then the moment you let them down, they can get up and run away. They will bust their knees.
Well, I'm thinking the spikes, the nails that were driven. That's some precision, some precision stuff to not have any broken bones with the driving of a spike through your hands and your feet.
Yeah, well, most people, they talk about it went through the wrist. So you got to think your wrist has, if I'm not mistaken, right? It has a space that they can go through. So again, he had no broken bones.
But the point.
You got more questions. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to go in a different direction. But
we're still talking about the gift. Who is the gift?
My point
Jesus.
comes back to why crucifixion? Why did he have to die? Why couldn't, in his sovereignty, just say, look, I'm doing away with all sin? Why even have sin in the first place?
Why have?
Really good question.
Well, what is sin? It's disobedience, right? It's disobeying him.
I think what kind of like, in a way, like what he's asking with that, it's kind of like, why would he create something that would separate him from his own creation per se?
To where you would have to turn around and give this gift to redeem them back.
Because if he doesn't give us free will, then we're just robots. Like, that's the whole part. Like your free will shows the ability to love. It's free will because love is a choice. No matter who it is, love is a choice.
I'm not getting an invite back to this show.
No, man.
This
I'm
is
glad you
this
coming.
is the
good.
raw on purpose.
You know?
Honestly, and here's the thing: you don't know that this is another type of gift that somebody could be listening to this and have the same questions,
Exactly.
and they need the answers to it, and this could help draw them closer to Him. Now, we're not God. First and foremost, we're not God. God made this decision. Again,
Right.
we're finite in our thinking, but the reason why is like there's no reason to love Him if we don't have choice. If we don't have the ability to choose Him, then there's no way love can be showcased, right? You're married,
there's
right?
no reflection of love.
You're married, right?
19 wonderful years.
19 wonderful years, right? So how do you show that you love your wife? You don't cheat on her, right?
Right.
You don't steal from her. You don't. There's certain things that you just don't do because of
Non-negotiables.
right.
You just
Because of,
don't.
but it's a choice that you make every day.
Right.
Like you choose your wife every day. That's what love. That's what that's the ultimate meaning of love is choosing that person. It's a choice. So God loves us so much that and then you think about it, the whole Old Testament was ways for God to not do what He did, and it's just like that didn't work, that didn't work because He was ultimately relying on fallen man. So then He has to come down clothing Himself in skin to offer Himself as a sacrifice. Because again, if somebody is shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and your daughter's right there, are you not taking the bullet for her?
Oh, definitely.
Why?
To prevent her from taking the hit.
Why?
Because it's going to you're marching towards because I love her, which is true. I do.
Right.
Right? If it's some strange Joe Blow, it's not necessarily that you're going to jump in a bullet for them. Now, you might, for whatever God-given reason, you might do it. But let's put your daughter, your wife. I'm not going to do that to you. We'll wait to another one. Right? If your parents were living,
Right.
your siblings, right? Even some of your closest friends.
Right.
It's because it's a choice. It's love. Love is sacrificial. So that's why. So God said, all right, I'm going to take the bullet for you too. Just do this through His Son. Yeah. And again, his gift of salvation is given to you freely. It's not something you have to take. It's a gift.
Right.
Like he made it available to you.
He made it available
like,
to
just
you.
in case you need it. I got a billion in the warehouse down the street. It's just there for you.
It's there.
You good.
Right? It's unconditional. See, because here's the other thing, though, right? We think about the crucifixion. Did He stay dead, though?
No.
Because what's more important, our physical body or our spiritual body? Which one lasts forever? Which one's temporal? God's after everlasting, not a moment.
Infinite.
So Jesus' body was temporary anyways. We're all going to die.
This is true.
At some point in time, Jesus was going to die. It just happened to be gruesome. Right? So again, God cares about forever, not tomorrow.
And that's why He's the greatest of all time.
He's the GOAT. Right? He's the greatest of all time, and He gave us the greatest gift. So all this comes full circle to that's the gift, is Him. his son Jesus.
The
The real reason we celebrate this time is that gift put us in position to reconnect to him. The lambs couldn't do it. The cows couldn't do it. The chickens, the bread. Nothing on this earth can do it. They tried it all. It didn't. But until his son Jesus came and he was born, and he got on that cross, he died, but most importantly, he raised again. And not only did he come and live here, he came and showed us what the kingdom's about, how to live the life that we should live. He was the example of what we are to embody on this earth.
First of many.
Like, that's another gift that we don't think about or talk about.
Of him being the example.
Him being the example. And then openly give his life. Because that's the other part. We tend to sleep on. He was Jesus. He could have healed himself. Like, Jesus could have got off the cross, right? Jesus could still be living today, but he gave his own life. He said, "It is finished." Nothing happened until he said, "It is finished." And he gave up the ghost. He gave up his spirit.
Nothing was taken.
Nothing was taken.
It was only given.
It was only given with no conditions.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sign me up.
Right?
Sign me up.
It's the greatest gift because it's the greatest showcase of love.
Yep. The gift of life, everlasting.
Everlasting.
Here and forever.
Spending time with the very person, the very being that created us. He ushered the door for us to walk in to be able to spend that time with him. So yeah, great discussion. This is good.
Gift that keeps on giving.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
We
should be re-gifting.
Yeah, we make it re-gifting great again. Yeah.
Yep. We copyright that idea.
Right.
Okay.
Really.
But yeah, so man, we hope you guys enjoyed this topic. It was it did get a little deep. I love it though, man. I love it. This was a good one.
Yeah, we hope y'all enjoyed this one.
We do, man. Appreciate you, Ollie. You came with some heat.
Thank y'all for having me on the show.
Yeah, we needed you here.
Right. He trying to take one of our jobs, bro.
Oh, no.
He trying to take our job.
My job is behind the equipment, not in front of it.
Well, technically, you are behind the microphone, so you're still behind it. But yeah, man. So again, man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you did, please share it. This may have encouraged to help somebody, especially if you are a believer and you're struggling to share what it feels like to walk with Jesus, or you have that loved one that your voice has become redundant and they don't want to listen to them. Share this with them. Maybe it can be used to help bring them to Christ, and then that opens up the door for you to be a disciple for them. Right? This could open the door, and then this gives you the opportunity to help walk them through this journey, because we all know it's an everyday journey. So yeah, please again, share, like, comment.
Yes.
If you have any questions, I forgot to say this at the earlier. If you got any questions, you can email us at rawonpurpose@gmail.com. And then you also hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at rawonpurpose_. And again, that's RAONPURPOSE_. And then on Facebook, it's just Raw on Purpose. And subscribe to our YouTube channel at Raw on Purpose Podcast. All right, everything's just Raw on Purpose. This is the place where the raw you meets your purpose.
That's right.
So if anybody got any last comments before we sign off, any last thoughts?
Keep love alive.
Keep love alive.
Man, what do I say after that? Because that's what it really is. You know what I'm saying? But man, just remember that you are a gift, and that you are here to express that in some type of way, and also to receive gifts, and to know that the gift also gave you something, and that even in this the spirit of Christmas, that we remember that Christ is the true reason for this season. Remembering that that the victory that they couldn't hold the sun down, that we got everything we need because the sun rose again. Okay.
Hey. Yes. And so, man, please take this time. Enjoy your family. You never know. It could be your last time. So enjoy each and every moment, because it is a gift. If this year hasn't taught you anything, I was about to say learned you anything. If it hasn't taught you anything, it should have taught you to appreciate the moments you have with people, the things that you have already, and the air in your lungs. So
100.
Just walk around with gratefulness and gratitude, and understand that the gift is for other people, not for our own feelings. So we love y'all. We thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you soon. Again, it's your boy Zay.
It's your boy Rashad.
And we are our special guest.
Top of the morning to you, Omali. From the sip.
All the way from the sip.
And this is the Raw on Purpose podcast.
Tapping, tapping, tap into your purpose. Tapping, tapping. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. We tapping into purpose. Raw on purpose. Raw on purpose. We tapping